They spent over $67,000 of our HOA dues on hidden cameras, one of which was behind the vent in my bathroom. They thought I'd never noticed. They thought I was just another quiet guy who kept to himself. But what they didn't know, I'm a licensed FCC field agent and I've spent the last 17 years busting illegal surveillance rings. That it started the way it always does. A dream house on a too-perfect street. I moved into Larchwood Hollow last spring. The listing called it a secure gated community with proactive oversight. I was burned out from years of travel. I wanted peace, routine, somewhere quiet to patch things up with my teenage daughter, Maya, after the divorce. The first red flag came 3 days after moving. I was in the garage tightening bolts on Maya's bike when a shadow crossed the driveway. A man in an orange vest and white sneakers, no badge, no greeting, just a clipboard. "You didn't submit your garage layout," he said. I blinked. "Come again. New residents are required to log interior schematics. Emergency compliance measure." That night, I reread the CC&Rs. Nothing. Not a single word about interior mapping. But 2 days later, I got the fine $150 labeled non-cooperation fee. At first, I thought maybe I missed something. I was still sorting through moving boxes and custody paperwork. But then Maya came into the kitchen holding her hairbrush. "Dad, why does this buzz when I stand near the bathroom wall?" The brush had a metal handle. I took it, walked toward the vent. It vibrated. Now, most people would chalk that up to a loose duct or bad wiring. But I felt it. A low-frequency pulse. Not mechanical, not HVAC that night. I scanned the bathroom with a spectrum analyzer. There it was, narrowband frequency at 2.45 GHz. Irregular pulses every 6.2 seconds. Wi-Fi signal, hidden. Active.broadcasting. I didn't sleep. I disassembled the vent at 3:17 a.m. Inside was a pinhole camera, battery backed and custom rigged with what looked like a recycled Nest module. No markings. DIY build. I didn't report it yet. I documented. I started with a sweep of the whole house. I found 3 more transmitters behind a light fixture, inside the laundry room outlet, and embedded in the baseboard of Maya's room. Each on a different channel. Each linked. But that wasn't the worst part. That came when I traced the signal. Source. The stream wasn't going to some local server or cloud archive. It was routed through a signal repeater buried inside a sprinkler control box. 3 doors down. And whose yard was it in? HOA President Cheryl LeMay. You'd never guess. It from the outside minivan roses, matching dog bowls. But Cheryl had built a neighborhood surveillance loop. Every streetlight in Larchwood Hollow was a disguised repeater. I spoke to 3 neighbors under the guise of helping them set up routers. Each had strange glitches, echoing feedback. Phantom, RESTARTS. 2 said their lease agreements required Wi-Fi enabled thermostats provided by the HOA. That's not a safety feature. That's infrastructure control. Knowledge nugget number 1. In most states, HOAs cannot install surveillance devices inside private homes without explicit, written consent, and even then, it must comply with federal wiretap laws. So I started pulling threads. The HOA's monthly newsletter, written by a fake communications committee. Its photo had AI artifacts. The compliance officer who gave me the first fine never listed on the state's HOA management registry. I submitted a routine FCC interference complaint under a fake name. Days later, I got a notice on my windshield. Repeated rule violations may result in property seizure. What rule? What seizure? The day after Maya's school called, someone had sent a complaint to the district anonymous, of course accusing me of installing unapproved RF devices. Then came the smear campaign. Flyers on poles, Nextdoor threads, a community email chain labeling me a hostile tech extremist. Someone posted my license photo on Facebook, captioned, "Does this man belong here?" That was the turning point. I stopped playing defense. I drove to the county records office and pulled the HOAS incorporation documents. They were filed in 2007 by someone named Donovan Watts. Problem: that guy died in 2004, which meant someone backdated the filings. And when I cross-checked the board's EIN with the IRS database, it was flagged under a shell entity, an inactive non-profit that had never filed taxes. Knowledge nugget number 2. HOAs that collect dues must file annual financial disclosures. Failure to do so can trigger audits, asset freezes, and civil penalties. I confronted Cheryl the next morning. Front porch. No warning, no camera, just me and a thumb drive full of receipts. "You're not supposed to know any of that," she said, calm, like it was scripted. Then she smiled. Whatever you think you're doing, remember no one believes the paranoid guy." She shut the door. 3 hours later, I came home to find my internet cut, my mailbox taped shut, my car egged, but I had what I needed. That night I drafted the report, not just to the FCC, but the FTC, IRS, and state attorney generals. OFFICE, I redacted nothing. I named names, I uploaded the camera signal logs, the tax fraud trail, and the manipulated board filings, and then I filed an emergency ex parte injunction legal shorthand to block the HOA from accessing or destroying any community infrastructure. Screenshot this clause and tag a friend who needs HOA armor. Federal Code 18 USC Section 2511. It's the core wiretap statute. Memorize it. The fallout came fast. One neighbor, Alec, confessed to installing the cameras on contract, said he thought it was a child safety initiative. Another, a retired cop, admitted he was paid to knock on doors that didn't comply. Turns out the board had been operating a private security subcontract using HOA dues, over $300,000 paid out across 4 shell LLCs. When the state AG opened the case, Cheryl went quiet. The neighborhood group chat, gone. HOA website, deleted. But the receipts were already public. News vans came within 48 hours. My mailbox got a different kind of visitor, subpoena. I testified on a Thursday. Cheryl was arraigned the next week. Illegal surveillance, wire fraud, misuse of community funds. She pleaded not guilty, claimed the devices were not, but the jury didn't buy it. Especially after I played them the audio clip recorded from the baseboard unit of Cheryl's voice saying, "Turn off Maya's room when the lights go out." Knowledge nugget number 3. If your home has unusual interference, buzzing outlets, or signal lag, conduct an RF scan. You don't need a badge to protect your privacy. After the trial, the HOA dissolved. The community voted to self-manage. The house behind me. It's now a cope tech space for teens. Maya helps run it. She named the Wi-Fi network. Nice try, Cheryl. But 2 weeks ago, I found something in my mailbox. No stamp, no return address. Just a silver key. Taped to a note. You stopped one loop, not the others. Next week, the city that tried to steal a solar farm and silence the man who built it.